All right, traders, welcome on back here this Thursday afternoon, May 8th. Great to have all of us back here inside our live trading room, as well as on social media, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, the works. Great to have Gillis, Michael, Leda, all of us just here from before. A beautiful day that we've had here today, not just outside, weather-wise out here in Southwest Florida, but of course within the stock market. Great to have all of us here. Otherwise, I great to see Charles, Laureen, Ron, Farzad, Jeff, Phil, Roberto, who did pretty nicely just before earlier on the QBTS, at least, right, Roberto? The quantum stocks took off pretty nicely from earlier, not even just the QBTS, but, IONQ, Rigetti here, a little slow this one is, but it's up 10%. So what we'll do is just begin by recapping a few of the stocks from earlier this morning. Not only have we had a lot going on within the market, but outside of the market too. We've elected a new pope, of course. First time ever an American pope, right? I think it will be known as Pope Leo. I think the 14th, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 15th. But, at least for right now, we'll see what's ahead heading into the afternoon. I know that Trump was also, having some remarks, about Powell, about just the whole economy. Now's a good time to buy stocks. So the market pushed up pretty nicely as a whole. But let's at least go over a few of the trades from earlier here. Bill saying Leo the 14th, right? XIV, that's 14, right, Bill? So I think I was right there, at least at first. Hey, ASST to start here, right? Getting back to our stocks, this asset trade, it is a Bitcoin stock. And once the news came out yesterday, you all killed it on this trade. Here's the issue, though. When this just keeps going up and up and up, you know that it's going to have a solid top eventually. It should have earlier. But not only that, it only becomes a lot more volatile the more it goes up. The spread is now open. You're seeing the shake around a hell of a lot more up and down compared to yesterday. So this has become more of a category 5 trade here for us inside our live room. I'm going to put this on our list, of course. It's still holding very strong and needs to get back up and above $7.90 and $8 here. I have a position on this right now, just smaller shares, but hey, I'm down a little bit here. I'll see if it ends up popping back up for me. Otherwise, it might just pull back and take me out if it pulls below 750 here coming up. So we've done really well on this trade from earlier. So maybe this is right place, wrong time. I have no problem getting stopped out if it's not going to be any other time again. If this just totally tanks, last thing that you want to do is be in a trade that's halted on the way down. For new traders joining us here, we'll kind of move on from the stock in a moment, go through the other trades that we've had from earlier. But for new traders joining CTU, even if you've had 10, 20 years experience in long-term investing game, if this is your first time dealing with volatility halts, 99% of the time when a stock gets halted going down, it's game over. Wipe your hands clean from it, move on. And I mean that for the rest of the day, for the rest of the week, that's it. So this is, abnormal. It's not typical of what we would normally see. This is the 1% at least here. Alarm go off there. So with that said, if a stock gets halted on the way down, you better be running for the hills. Otherwise, you can't expect for this to happen every, other time. So for the afternoon, we'll put this back on our list at least. Hopefully there is one more pop on this into the close. Over 790. That's where we had a big iceberg earlier here. It was originally at $8. They moved the order down and it got filled at 790. So the combination of those two prices here is a big level. If it could solidify over this area, I'm looking for 10. If it could solidify over this area, just keep in mind, again, for new traders joining us, this is what I like to teach in class and more in the coaching program with our more advanced students here. Trading is conditional. The two most powerful words that you could ever use with trading are the words if and then. Not the word and, but if, then, right? So with that said, if this can get back up and above 8 and stay over it from there, then we have a chance at a much better run. If it doesn't do that, then we're not thinking about 10. But we'll see what else is out there, though, right? We talked about the quantum stocks from earlier. QUBT, right? Great move from earlier today. Now, hey, again, we discussed this more in phase 1 of our stock course with news. But why did this stock pop today? Does anybody remember what was the news that led to this, big pop here throughout the day? It's up 50% still. Does anyone recall? If not, no worries. But, this is where we're going to go into the news on this stock. And this is pretty unusual to see a stock make this type of run or move percentage-wise off of this headline. Does anyone recall? If not, all good, all good. So this ended up popping off of just earnings. Simple enough, right? So I think one of the other quantum stocks, their CEO was just on TV before, but from the jump here in pre-market, this was running off of earnings. Now, since we know that, let me ask Michael and Bill and Roberto Farzad, Jeff, all of our students here inside our live trading room. If you're familiar with earnings, how much of a move up do you typically see a stock make off of earnings? Like typically, how big of a move up or down can a stock make off of earnings? Normally, typically, what do you think, folks? Bill says 5 to 10, Anna says 10, Jeff says 3, John S says 10, Dave 10 to 20. Yeah, like just loosely speaking, perfectly within that range, 5 to 15% I'd mentioned on a coaching call with a student earlier, but that's just like a loose number, 10 to 20, 5 to 10, whatever it is. Yeah, 50 plus percent, folks. So you figure eventually this is going to come back down to planet Earth. So, I know we were talking about this earlier, and I was telling you before, I was looking for an over and under from this area. This is the level that we were talking about just earlier inside our live trading room. Just inside the chat board, I'll post this here as far as just like a little retweet, repost basically. But at 140, I'd commented saying, I am expecting QBTS to hold the historical area I'd called out earlier, roughly around 1060 as resistance. That's exclusive inside our live trading room. I'm showing that. Basically, it's just off of this area here back from the beginning of the calendar year. I know it chopped around there later on back in mid-March, but at least if this can get retested again initially the first time, I'm expecting that to hold. So I was not as bullish around here. It started to like hold a bit. So I was thinking, oh, okay, if this does try and move up, maybe the other quantums can start moving up perhaps better, like a little sympathy play there. Just it really didn't happen though, right? I went break even on Rigetti at that time, but this did not hold, and now it's pulling back a bit. Um, we'll come back to this by the end of this meeting because hey, what if this just pops as I start, going down our percent gainers and losers list here? I'll come back to it at the least if you want me to check it out at the end. Absolutely. But it wasn't even just QBTS. We also had, like we had said, Rigetti. QUBT was a better trade too. This was a nice run up 17%. IO and Q, CEO was on TV just before, but a little more volatile, more expensive stock. All of these trades typically move around the same, trend, same pace. We'll probably follow up on them tomorrow, right? Maybe even this afternoon. But what we'll do is go from top to bottom here, see what we got. It wasn't even just those. We got this V trade, V. V was going wee on the way up, at least earlier today, right? So, giant run up. It's up 200+% now, making higher lows still. It's at resistance. So right around here, trying to flip that resistance into a potential support. It seems like it's in a similar position with QBTS, with at least trying to flip a resistance into a support for another leg higher. Let me just check the order book on this one. Spread's not that open. I mean, a little bit, but not extreme. I'd still put it like a category 3, maybe even a 4 in terms of like how we rank them. But I'll put it on our list still. VEEE. Got to get that extra E in there. All right. So asset, ASST, like we had said, we'll come back to this at the end. I'm still in my trade right now, but if it's not getting back over 790 and really 8 from there, then I'll probably get shaken out. I guess this is another quantum stock, QMMM. I'm assuming it's quantum with Q in the name. Over $1. Hey, normally we wouldn't have focused on this trade, but had a good morning. It's over $1. It's near the highs. That's how the asset trade basically started from yesterday, right? If you're looking at ASST from yesterday and saying, well, where did we find this? We didn't really focus on it at first because it was below $1. And then once it starts getting over that dollar threshold, it not only pops up on our scans, but it pops up on everyone else's scans, right? So, thankfully this worked out extremely well for us. But for the other one, what was it? The QMMM. Good spread, good order book, big iceberg here. A couple of them at 115, 120. I don't mind it. All right, we'll keep it going though from here. See what else we got. ZVIA. Let me zoom out here, but not doing as much. Kind of lackluster there. Water here. QDEL, possibly another quantum. Quiddle, maybe not. Quiddle, whatever that is. Keep it moving. ZKIN. Ooh, nice little bounce right now. Okay, so this stock was kind of garbage earlier for us today. You never really know though till later on. You kind of rescan the market, see where these trades land heading into the afternoon. Well, it's looking as good as any other stock now at this point. So better now than ever. And with that, ZKIN, good spread. This might even get halted. If the stars really align on this right now in the immediate term, you could see a halt. It's possible. Dave, EBS, Groupon off earnings. That looks good, but we got better priorities right now at this stage. This is an Ethereum ETF. So if you've been hearing me scream about Bitcoin from the last several weeks, let alone from the end of April, telling you May and June are holding months, right? We said that. A big pop today on Bitcoin. Actually, Ethereum is up a hell of a lot more. The second best crypto, second most popular cryptocurrency out there. It doesn't perform better than Bitcoin at all. Bitcoin's outperformed this forever, but this is having its day in the sun today. That's for sure. So where I'm pointing to is that you have a couple of those ETFs for Ethereum. Go back to my 24/7 charting. All right, so let's see. Is the order book good here? Yeah, it actually isn't bad. I want to see if there's one that trades more volume later on, but I'll add one of those ETFs at least. A lot of flat stocks, a lot of flat. Bumble's trying to move back up a little bit. Social media dating type of app. Um, and this thing's been getting beat up for a long time, so maybe a little short covering now. They're having its own day in the sun right now, at least. I mean, I like it at least more than some of those others. I'll add it. BMBL, good spread, pretty inexpensive. Back to the highs. PGY having a good day today. There's a lot that we can go through, I'm sure. Listen, the whole market's up. So, we really have to go through everything. It'll be a longer meeting here time wise, but, and hopefully we don't build up too big of a watch list, but we kind of have to go through everything with a fine tooth comb. Oh, no, don't. Yeah. My platform is slowing down a little earlier today. So hopefully that doesn't happen here, but CMTX, Robinhood had a good day today. That's still near the highs right now. This is a Robinhood ETF, ROBN. So if you don't want to trade the stock here, $54 a share, you also have the ETF. So I'll slip both on our watch list here for now, Robinhood and that ETF. TSHA, dead. The QUBT, again, Quantum will come back to. Good chance I add those trades just to our list. Just wanted to check them out just by the end of this meeting, right? So which of these is trading the most volume? Here are some more Ethereum ETFs. So let's just see. This one's trading the most, ETHA, about 13 million shares plus total on the day. All right, so this will be our representative for Ethereum, that cryptocurrency. This will be the one that we trade, ETHA. They all move similar, but you want to trade the one with the most shares, the most volume or liquidity. Run's having a good day. I saw Mike talk about another energy stock, Array. We'll get to that as well, but Run doing pretty good. I'll add Run. You got Kids, is dead. NVAX had a good trade on this earlier today, broke below my first support level, then fell immediately to my next support level. It was a nice entry off 650. Ends up getting stopped out around 690 just throughout the morning. Just was kind of lazy here throughout the mid morning, and then just broke lower. So, or broke down, not lower, I guess. But keep it moving. Keep it moving here, folks. That asset trade doesn't seem to be moving back up just yet. Carvana had a great day today. A little more expensive, though. Doesn't trade as much volume. There we go. Pelosi stock. You knew I'd say that. TEM. Yeah, this one looks interesting. Just again, for the price, you're going to see a thinner book, but the spread's been somewhat contained. And you can't argue with that move on the way up. So TEM, put that on our list. And what else we got? Webull popped. Ooh, more of a afternoon move. So I like that more than anything. Just the thing on this one is just the spread. It opens up a lot. I normally don't like trading this stock, but it's up decent amount right now. It's more of an afternoon move. I think that Trump and China are kind of advancing their talks, and that actually could help out Webull quite a bit. Webull is a Chinese-based company, so add Webull for now. EMPH, another energy stock here. See what else we got for right now, because damn, number 100 on my list is up 8.5%, guys. So damn near everything is up. Call your parents, call your grandparents. The market is just ripping, it seems. So Rivion's up a lot right now. Palantir's back to 120. We got to add Palantir, add a little Rivion because we're familiar with that. Want to add the ones that we're most familiar with, as well as the ones that trade the most liquidity. So I got out on my swing trade on CEP earlier this morning. Could have held on longer, I guess, but this is why I wanted to get out, because I don't want to deal with this crap here in this giant shake. All right, so that's it from the gainer side. That was a lot. Let's hop over to the losers list here. We have now built up a pretty big list. As I said, I didn't want to overdo it, but knew that we'd have a pretty big list regardless. If there's anything else looking good across the gainer side, folks, more from the gainer side, just let me know. I'm sure I could look at IBIT, that ETF. Of course, we're going to look at that more on the swing side than anything. Well, this is pretty simple. Nothing really from the losers list for us here. Really, I mean, maybe G. Fausto called that out earlier at the open, but it made a little slingshot. That's just about it. All right, folks, let me know. Anything else up, down, left, right, more than 5%? Let me know here. Again, quick little clarity here, just, for all of our students in phase 3, gold, platinum, diamond. So we do keep it to 5%. Fausto, just from the last day or so at the Fed meeting, just want to be more selective, right? So you're hearing him say like 10% there in the pre-market at least. We're typically at 5% or above. If there's anything else, up or down 5% or more, let me know. I want to check out Mike's array trade there, like we said. So, a little bit slower, but listen, if you're already in, you're doing well, and it's extremely tradable, right? So, it's a very safe stock. You almost want to focus on something like a little bit faster, a little bit more volatile to it. You always hear me say, like, don't trade something too fast, but there, at least, I'd probably prefer run. Run might be the better mover there, Mike. That EMPH was also doing all right. Right? Like we had said, that's another energy stock, more expensive, but they're doing pretty good in its own right. Farzad on HIMS, let's go from top to bottom. Yeah, so Farzad on HIMS there, how could I not put HIMS on our list? I got it at this stage, right? With how well we've done on it, like as a whole collective. I know Farzad, I know a bunch of us have done really well. Kerry, myself, Michael, Bill. I got to mention Bill there. He's been killing it on that. So yeah, HIMS back on our list. Obviously IBIT, that we've been like nailing Bitcoin this whole time. So even if you don't see it on our watch list, that we're always talking about Bitcoin, as we've been very bullish from the jump this year and from the end of this past month into May. From Dave BTDR. So a little flat though, a little flat right now, like too flat, I'd say. Right now, with the Bitcoin mining stocks, they normally do not make good afternoon moves. You will hear me say that frequently if you haven't already. That's where, for the other Bitcoin trades out there, I'd more so prefer Hood, because that's not a mining stock. That's a much more popular and larger cap stock, and it's different than just mining. But something like a Coinbase, even though it's more expensive, like that would be a little bit more interesting. MSTR, with that said, too. But for right now, we have such a big list, it's hard for me to put much else on if it's out of our price range. So it's okay. There's just so much out there for us to at least consider. So it's good to go through these and work as a team right now. Like Michael and CLF, hey, listen, it's down 15% and near the lows. If we didn't have such a big list, you'd probably have me put this on our watch list then, right? If it was more of a lackluster afternoon thus far, if we didn't have as much to work with already, I'd probably put this on our list. Dave saying CLSK earnings tonight. Well, that might move the stock a bit there. I might get stopped out on assist here or asset in just a moment. We shall find out. Almost took me out. Almost took me out here. Damn, that was actually pretty damn close. Right on the nose, 750. So got very close to taking me out just before here in my trade, but we're hanging on for right now. Folks, again, last call here. Anything else looking good? Up, down, left, right, more than 5%? Let me know. We'll head back to those quantum trades, I guess. Could very well get stopped out in just a moment on asset there either way, but QUBT, QBTS. All right, so those two I saved for last. I didn't put them on the list just yet. I will. Folks, we got a big watch list here heading into the afternoon. I'm going to post this here for us in just a moment, and then I'll be back on myself heading into the afternoon. Just give us about 10-15 minutes. I'll be back on at 3:05 Eastern. All right. Now, if you're joining us on social media, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, the works, a couple of things before we finish up. Just make sure to hit the follow or subscribe button down below, just on YouTube, namely the red subscribe button down there. At Cyber Trading U is our handle. Otherwise, as I like to say, be a friend, tell a friend, look to spread the good word of what we teach here at Cyber Trading University. And that is following the big money. Not every trade is going to work out for you, but it's a matter of, following those iceberg orders. And then once you jump in, much like I teach in class, when you drive your car each and every day, you got to put your seatbelt on, have your stop set, risk management 101 with that. But otherwise, just hit the follow or subscribe button down below at Cyber Trading U. And if you're interested in joining us inside our live trading room from social media, there is a link on the banner below scrolling there, ctu.co/trial. Right down below me now, right there. So, you can go right to that link and subscribe to our live trading room on a week-long trial membership just to learn more about what we do, all of our commentary inside our live trading room, our students, our instructors, and everything else there in between. All right. Otherwise, though, folks, best of luck trading heading into the afternoon. Like I said, I'll be on in just a moment.